The Miz is way too good at this, and it's not even the first time he made fun of a WWE wrestler. But Miz, hypocrite much? I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, people used to say that The Miz is copying The Rock. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, because I'm The Miz and I'm awesome. Maybe that's why he only referenced Stone Cold Steve Austin and not The Rock. The Miz is guilty of this too. I love how this rivalry is basically making fun of each other. Payback is happening in a couple of days, and while Seth Rollins vs Shinsuke Nakamura is most likely the main event, and I'm excited about the match, it's for the World Championship, it should be the main event. On the other hand, would anyone really mind if this was the main event? This is by far the most interesting story, and the story is not even that serious. I was also wondering, is that beard real or not? Whatever the case may be, great job by The Miz. This episode of Monday Night Raw didn't feel much different than any other episode of Raw, but finally we got a different main event. You may not be excited about Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark, but finally, it's not the Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the main event. I've prayed for times like these. How much of the same thing can we actually watch? Hey, and if you like these videos, and if you want your Coco Jumbo to grow to the moon, why don't you click that like button and subscribe? Speaking of different, this episode of Monday Night Raw kicked off with a match. It was Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest in a pretty decent match. But don't we all, deep down inside, miss when Monday Night Raw used to kick off with a 30-minute promo by The Authority? Triple H is talking about business. Ah, the good old days. I actually don't even mind a show kicking off with a promo. I never found that to be a problem, but you know, I like when something is a little bit different, and that's exactly what Monday Night Raw needed lately. So the match was actually pretty good, both amazing talent. JD McDonald's, I'm loving it, helped Damian Priest to win the match, so he took the W. But Damian Priest is not impressed. He still doesn't feel like JD McDonald's I'm loving it Big Mac double cheeseburger belongs in the Judgment Day. So the man helped him for absolutely nothing. So Damian Priest just watched Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beat the crap out of JD McDonald's large Big Mac with fries. You can still see that these wrestlers are hurt. You know, they paid tributes to Bray Wyatt, and you can tell by the facial expressions that this is still very, very emotional. Even for the fans, I mean, it still feels unreal. Akira Tozawa says, yeah, that looks good. Drew McIntyre is not impressed, but Matt Riddle has ideas for their tag team ring attire. Why am I not impressed by this? I absolutely loved Riddle and Randy Orton. It was hilarious, but I believe it was good because Randy Orton is not this, right? It was kinda bizarre seeing Randy Orton in that situation. It was like Daniel Bryan and Kane. When it comes to Drew McIntyre, it just doesn't work. He's not that type of character, and I just want to see Drew McIntyre in something else. I think they're kinda wasting the dude. L.A. I wanna see your ass. Well, it turns out it was The Miz. And The Miz absolutely nailed it. He sounded almost exactly like LA Knight. He wants to talk to Memphis. He's so dangerous that he starts fumbling his words when he's in the ring with The Miz. And The Miz said yeah about 30 times during this promo. If you want free LA Knight t-shirts, give me a hell yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, this was pretty awesome. So he makes fun of LA Knight, but then reverts back to himself and calls the fans pathetic. He says anyone can be generic and vanilla like LA Knight. He doesn't have to do catchphrases like LA Knight. When he says he's awesome, it's the truth. It's not a catchphrase. The party will be over when he beats LA Knight because it's his game. Good stuff from The Miz, and again, this is the most interesting match at Payback to me. For whatever reason, this rivalry is just so beneficial to LA Knight and The Miz at the same time. When was the last time you cared about The Miz? Then we saw the Viking Raiders versus the New Day. Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle were watching the match. Drew McIntyre doesn't really want to be in a tag team, but for whatever reason, he just ends up in that situation where he, you know, just wants to kick some ass. God, that was bad. The New Day and the Viking Raiders are both in that position where we all know how great they are, how much fun they are in that ring, but they just need that change, and I don't even blame the WWE because I don't know what that change is. When it comes to the New Day, probably a heel turn, but we gotta wait for Big E. When it comes to the Viking Raiders, I'm lost. There's such great workers in that ring, but I just find that gimmick a bit goofy, I guess. So, they pissed off Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre accidentally throws the chair at Xavier Woods. Eventually, the Viking Raiders won the match, and Drew McIntyre didn't meant to do that. He says he wants the Viking Raiders. I don't know, man. I still feel like Drew McIntyre should do something a lot more significant. I believe Payback could really use Drew McIntyre in a big position. I think it's gonna be Seth Rollins in the future, but we're gonna have to wait and see. The WWE paid tribute to Bray Wyatt again, which is absolutely amazing. We got the fireflies, the chair. Love to see it. I think WWE did a wonderful job. We saw the Judgment Day arguing again, which is kinda getting old at this point, let's be honest. I get what they're going for, but they're doing the same thing every week, and it's just, do something. Do something! Gunther acknowledges the fact that Chad Gable beat him last week, but it was a countout. So he will give Chad Gable the championship opportunity. Chad Gable says the next time I'll beat you, it will be 1, 2, 3. So we saw Chad Gable versus Ludwig Kaiser. Both great talent. I'm so happy that Chad Gable is getting that push. He absolutely deserves it. The first man to actually beat Gunther. Yes, by a countout, but the first man to beat Gunther on the main roster. Chad Gable during that promo also said that he's the first man to beat Gunther on the main roster. Is that a term WWE are okay with? This man probably spit his ketchup watching this. The match ends in DQ. We got a brawl after the match, and Gunther stands tall. It's so awesome seeing Chad Gable getting that opportunity, yet at the same time it sucks so much that we all know he ain't winning the belt. That's really, really unfortunate. But, I've always complained about Gunther's Intercontinental Championship title reign not having interesting rivalries. So finally, a rivalry that we can get behind of, like an actual rivalry, not just a random ass day counting. So I'm really happy that WWE finally gave us a rivalry, even if, Chad Gable loses. We see Seth Rollins, and he kicks off his promo by saying yowie wowie. He says it's been a long week, so he gotta keep it short. He calls out Shinsuke Nakamura, and Shinsuke Nakamura with another banger promo. This time he made it personal. He says he wants to be the reason why Becky has to help Seth Rollins get out of the bed. He wants to be the reason he won't be able to walk his daughter down the aisle on her wedding day. He will break Seth Rollins. Just 3-4 weeks of build, to me personally, is already more interesting than whatever we got with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. This Shinsuke Nakamura is the best Shinsuke Nakamura we've ever seen in the WWE. When Shinsuke talks in Japanese, you just kinda take him a bit more seriously. Whenever he talked in English, WWE tried to put some comedy into it, and sometimes it was funny, but now Shinsuke doesn't have these limitations. Seth Rollins says that, oh, you got a video on the Titantron, but he got attacked by Shinsuke Nakamura, who sends a message. Shinsuke ain't winning the championship, but you know what? If he did, I wouldn't be angry. I'm all for Seth Rollins with the World Heavyweight Championship for a long ass time, obviously. But Shinsuke is so interesting right now, I wouldn't really mind. We got Tommaso Ciampa versus Bronson Reed. Tommaso Ciampa got attacked before the match. This was fine, but it seems like WWE are really losing hope in Bronson Reed, because at first he was like getting pushed, man. He was getting that push, and lately he keeps losing all these matches, and the same story happened again with a very bad finish. Like that was not supposed to be 3 count, ladies and gentlemen. Ciampa is searching for Johnny Gargano lately, and I know some people want to see these guys in a bigger position, but I think they would do wonders in the tag team division. Rhea Ripley talks about Raquel Rodriguez. Eventually Rodriguez comes out, we got a big brawl, so finally we're getting that match. Like, WWE dragged this for way too long. It's an interesting match. It ain't Rock versus Cena. Let's just get this done and over with. That's one of the biggest problems I have with Rhea Ripley lately. She's not, focusing on her championship as much as she's focusing on the faction. She's great in the ring. Give us matches, rivalries, make her defend the championship. Make her a dominant champion because she keeps beating everyone, and not a dominant champion because she doesn't defend the championship. The main event was a Falls Count Anywhere match between Becky Lynch and Zoe Stark, and I gotta say, man, I was not excited about it one bit, but I'm watching this match and I'm like, this ain't that bad. It's funny how SmackDown gave us a Terry Funk tribute match, hardcore match, and we only got one hardcore kinda spot, which was a table spot. I wish this one was dedicated to Terry Funk because this was, a bit closer to that. Really, really fun match, by far the best Zoe Stark match in the WWE so far, so I really enjoyed this one. The finish was pretty awesome. Zoe Stark accidentally hits Trish Stratus and she goes through the table. And then Becky Lynch with a manhandle slam through the table and pays tribute to Bray Wyatt, which is beautiful. That was your Monday Night Raw. Beautiful moment. It's awesome how not a single wrestler said anything negative about Bray Wyatt. If anything, so many wholesome stories, so many, wholesome videos of Bray Wyatt just being so kind to fans. So, props to WWE superstars, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them, entertainers, for still, doing their job and entertaining the fans during this tough time. I would say this episode of Raw was pretty okay, not necessarily a go-home show type of a show, but I mean, we gotta give him a break. I think that's obvious. So thank you for watching this video. The Great One, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.